What's eating you? Psychology Eats is here to help you. What's eating you? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? Well, today, I am eating oxtails. Here's my plate. I didn't make these oxtails, although oxtails are one of the few things that I actually can make pretty decent. My father-in-law taught me how to make oxtails. And so here's one of the oxtails. And with my father-in-law's recipe, he always makes it with this Caribbean traditions oxtail seasonings. And I live in Pennsylvania. I cannot find this seasoning. He lives in New York. So he always brings me like a few bottles of it. But I can use that seasoning on other beefs too, and I do. So in the plate is some cabbage, the oxtails, some rice, beans. They use the bigger bean in this at this little Jamaican spot I go to. They use this bigger bean and a couple of sweet plantains, which are delicious. So I am up and I got me some Texas Pete. I love, oh God, I eat Texas Pete on everything. So I'll get me a little bit of Texas Pete on that. Okay, let me taste this cabbage. Let me see what the cabbage is giving. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Okay. It's giving. Now let me see about this oxtail. You know your oxtail is on point when it falls right off the bone. I see that? Mm-hmm. Mmm. Mm-mm. Delicious. Delicious. This spot is so good. I did. I think that's all I ever tried. I know they have curry goat and all of that, but oxtails is for me, baby. Now I know when I get my oxtails, my father-in-law will bring me oxtails from New York because he can go to the butcher, and we can do that in Jersey too. But I guess you can do it in Pennsylvania, but I've never bought it like that. So anyway, the oxtail is right there, the whole tail, and you tell the butcher how you like them cut. Now I like my oxtails cut thick, but you usually can't get it like that when you go to a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Hear that? That's how you know you're doing something. So, anywho, I'm here to talk about anxiety. Mm, mm, that was a potato. All right now. So, I'm here to talk about anxiety. Mm, is there a cure for anxiety? So, I know anybody who's watching this video, either you know somebody who has anxiety or you have anxiety yourself, right? It's very common. The last statistic I saw was one third of the world's population has anxiety. And I'm going to increase that. I'm going to say we all have anxiety. Anxiety is a natural fear response. So, without anxiety already built in our psyche, we wouldn't fear anything. We would go right into a dangerous situation or a potentially dangerous situation without fear. So we need anxiety. We do. The problem is if you have too much anxiety, if you are always fearful, that you're so fearful and anxious that it gets in the way of your daily life. That is anxiety that needs to be dealt with. Mm, the beans are really good too. So, mm-mm, no, that's hot. Mm-mm. You gotta be careful with the bones. You don't want to choke. So, the question of if anxiety is curable, it is not curable. And I say that because when you cure something, that means you get rid of it. It's gone. We don't want to completely get rid of our anxieties. We want to still have uh, 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 uh. we want to still have, I want to say, an operational level of anxiety, meaning you function. People have social anxiety. They have all kinds of phobias and fears. There's different levels to anxiety. And so, as clinicians, we have to kind of figure out where our clients are as far as their anxiety is concerned. How serious is their anxiety? So, some people have social anxiety and they don't go out of their house. They spend very little time socializing, if any at all. Mm-mm. And it gets in the way of their employment. It gets in the way of them maybe wanting to further their education and go to college or even high school. And so when somebody is dealing with social anxiety in that way, there has to be some intervention. Somebody has to step in and help them. Hmm. And there are several ways to do that. Now, some psychiatrists, you may go to a psychiatrist because you've tried other things and nothing worked. And the psychiatrist is like, okay, I'll put you on medication. And some people don't want that. They don't want medication. They don't want to be treated with medication because we know oftentimes medications have side effects and they don't want to deal with side effects. So, what do you do? What do you do? Well, you can try other remedies. You can try other ways to decrease your anxiety. There are some tricks that we give people. Um, One thing you can do if you don't want to do medication to help decrease your anxiety, you can mm-mm, you can meditate. You can use different forms of meditation to calm yourself down, especially if you have anxiety. Let's say you have anxiety to drive on the highway, and I know a lot of people with that. So they avoid highways, they avoid bridges, they may avoid elevators. They have all these things that stop them from functioning in their daily life because of anxiety. And so we can use different techniques, through therapy to help them manage that. And a lot of clients are successful. They really are. I know for me, I had anxieties when it came to elevators for a long time. I never got stuck in an elevator, never had like an experience, a bad experience in an elevator. I just decided I was afraid of elevators. I don't know why. And I just started using some of the techniques that I give my own clients on myself. Like, take a deep breath before you get on the elevator. Because I was, well, first of all, I think what changed my anxiety toward elevators is that as I got older, I was not trying to climb 20 stories of steps. In my younger days, I'd be like, oh, I ain't taking the elevator, I'm climbing the steps. But as I got older, that was not going to work. I was not, and I was working in cities where there were tall buildings and stuff. And I would literally climb 20, 40 flights of steps because of the fear of the elevator. And so I just had to do a lot of self talk, take out a lot of unrealistic fears about the elevator itself, and just tell myself, it's safe, it's okay, you'll be fine, you know, take a deep breath. And I also noticed that I was starting to project my fears of elevators onto my children, and I didn't want to do that. Um, they would know that I was afraid to get in the elevator, and when they got a little older, they would start to make fun of me actually, and they'd be like, "Oh, mommy, you better hold on." And I'm like, y'all getting too much power over me with this elevator situation. I got to get it together. Hold on now. And that's what I did. I just did a lot of self talk. You know, I didn't let the fears overtake my thinking when it came to elevators. And I just do what I need to do. I was recently in an elevator when I was in Atlantic City. Raggedy! The elevator was making so much noise. Now, normally, 10 years ago, I would have been like, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting in that elevator. I'll take the stairs, which we were on the 45th floor. I wouldn't care. I would get in the stairs. Now, I was just like, oh, well, as long as it got a floor and a bottom in the elevator, I'm good. And I just got in the elevator and I just blocked it out. It was funny. One day, I don't know how people know that I'm a therapist or that I can help them in some way. I was out and this lady walked towards me. We were at the top of the mall. It was a mall. And there was an escalator you can go down to the bottom floor or an elevator. And she walked up to me with the fear of God, like she was so scared. And she just walked toward me. She was like, "Can you help me?" And I'm like, "What's wrong?" She said, "My anxiety is taking over. I'm having a panic attack." I said, "Okay, just relax. Take a deep breath." She said, I gotta either take the escalator or I gotta take the elevator down to my car to get to my car. I said, "Okay. Which do you feel safest taking?" She said, "I think I can do the elevator." I said, "Okay, let's go. Let's get on the elevator. We'll go together. You'll be okay. Just keep breathing, whatever." So I got her down to the bottom and she was able to go on her way. But she was so scared. Oh my God. Her panic attack had really kicked in. And so for her, she used a coping skill that she learned somewhere: get help. Get help. Because she could have froze in that moment and stayed stuck on the second floor until whenever. But she used her coping skills. She was breathing with me and she was able to get down to the bottom of the elevator and go about her way. But anxiety is real. It really is. It can be very debilitating for people. It can get you stuck. But I want to say to everyone that there is hope. This Texas pea, y'all. Ooh, my nails dirty. Okay. Um, this oh, it is debilitating. It's for a lot of people, but there is hope, and it's treatable. It is absolutely treatable. Whether you go to natural remedies, you can go with medication. Um, whatever works for you. I tell clients it's whatever works for you. As long as it's healthy. As long as it's healthy. Some people have social anxiety and they drink alcohol, and then that can turn into an addiction, which is not a healthy way to manage anxiety. So I wouldn't suggest that or anything like that. But overall, it's treatable, and I'm glad to say that it is definitely treatable. All right, guys. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Psychology Eats is finally eating. Yes, she is. And so I think I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna do depression. I'm gonna do some other topics in psychology while I eat, which was my original premise for this channel before I got into drama, tea, and psychology. Hey, drama, tea, and psychology, which of course I'm going to continue to do that. But overall, thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't finish all of my food. I definitely will be finishing all of this food because I am not wasting oxtails. This platter wasn't too bad. This was $15, which isn't bad. And you support a small business. I'm going to throw up, I think I'm going to try to put a picture in of the restaurant. It's the ghetto. But I love it. Okay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Why am I singing all the time? Hold on, guys. Hold on.